Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. Today's episode is all about the world's best and certainly most popular tactical repeating crossbow. The EK Archery Cobra RX Adder, because it's just gotten even better. The 2.0, let me show you its features. Why is the Adder so popular? Well, because it's truly a tactical crossbow. It has awesome power for its size. You can even remove the rear stock and then it's more like a pistol crossbow. You have 5 bolts in the magazine and you have this integrated cocking lever that makes it super easy to make the weapon ready to fire. You can use the built-in red dot here. And then you can simply fire again by repeating the cycling action and do it again. Okay, and you even have a light and a laser integrated, and this is so that you can also shoot in the night, since with the laser and the light that is certainly possible, and makes it possible to shoot this crossbow from the hip. Probably the only serious crossbow that can do that. So you can just aim like this and then shoot. Very, very, very simple. Deadly machine, but nothing is so good that you cannot make it even better, which is exactly what I've done. You should know that I haven't designed the entire weapon. It's actually based on the Cobra R series, also sold as the cheap shot by Cold Steel in the US. What I developed and designed for it is the magazine. So usually it's only a single shot crossbow, like most of the crossbows on the market, but this one has actually 5 shots in the magazine. I designed it in wood first, and EK Archery from Taiwan then perfectionized it and just made it like a professional industrial product. If you want to load the arrows in, it's not so easy to do this in standing position. What you do is you have to keep the lever lifted up with your thumb here, and then you can feed them in. And so this is 5, and that's usually the maximum. You can load in 6, but look what happens when you try to load in 6. See, this is definitely not nice. It shoots, but it's really not recommended, specifically when you move around, like you walk or even run with the weapon, then it might fail, and therefore this was not good enough. I wanted more than 5 shots. I wanted 6 at least, and now we even get 7. The other thing that I wanted to enhance is when people trying to use the long bolts, 15-inch bolts. Why do people want to do this? Well, usually because then you can use 3D broadheads that otherwise are not stackable in the magazine, so you have to single load them. But it's also, of course, a little bit more accurate on longer distances, like longer than 30 meters. So a lot of people want to use the longer ones. And that worked, but it was kind of awkward. Because first what you had to do is you had to cock the weapon. And for this, you had to overcome the anti-dry fire thing, the little hook here on the end, so that you can swing out the arm, and then you would cock it just as normal. And now you can of course muzzle load the 15-inch bolt, but you would also hit the anti-dry fire lever. You have to lift this up, and then you can load this fully against the string. And now, as you see, I can fire it, but of course that's kind of awkward. So some people even design 3D alternative modules that you could put on in exchange of the magazine that would give you a single shot, like a spring. But of course I wanted to integrate that functionality into the magazine. Okay, so I wanted to enhance 3 things with the new magazine. First, more bolts in the magazine. Second, much quicker reloading, ideally with a clip or a speed loader. And third, last not least, I want to make it easy to use long bolts such as this one for single loading broadhead bolts. So let me show you what I came up with. The new alternative magazine for the RX Adder. Right now it's still using some 3D printed parts. In the end it will of course be high quality injection molded parts in here. These side plates are aluminum, so those are pretty final. It's much more complex and much higher manufacturing quality than the original one. So let me show you its features. So first you notice that the axis for the spring lever is now a lot higher, and this allows me to actually utilize the full height of the magazine. That is unchanged. same as the original one, with a different shape in the spring lever here, so I can put in 7 bolts instead of only 5. This is actually not in the way of the sighting system, since the sighting system is a little bit higher anyway. So it's not in the way, it's just using space that was otherwise unoccupied. Next you can see that there is this little wing here and also this steel ball. Why is that? Well, now because you have an additional axis, you can actually clap the entire lever up. And you know, the steel ball is actually spring loaded and it makes sure that this stays upright. So no more holding the spring lever up when you're loading the magazine. And of course you have full access to the entire magazine slot here now. So this is a great enhancement, and at any time you can swing it back either by pushing on the lever here, or you can alternatively also simply just use the main lever and use that to press it down. So this in itself is of course a much better solution, I think. Now a lot of people now want to know, can I upgrade my existing adder? And the answer is yes, because the adder itself is completely unchanged. It's just a different magazine, and it will actually take some time until we can deliver maybe a little bit cheaper versions that only come with the new magazine. Right now you would still get both magazines, so if you buy it complete, you get both magazines. So you can go back and forth, because as I said, the adder is unchanged. You just remove the thumb screw and then you can take out the entire magazine, very simple, and put the other one on. So to put the new magazine on, simply take the magazine just as per usual. You put it on, you slide it in place, you take the thumb screw, install it again, long screw. And now you can also see the beauty that this thing is so accessible. You can simply swing out the arm, and now you can take both hands and easily reload. Very simple to drop in the arrows. So if I want to load, pull this thing up, it locks in place, and now I can really take my time. I can do this really in a relaxed fashion and load the bolts in just one by one. So very comfortable. And number 7. Now I got 7 ones in, and if I want to lock this, I first swing it down, and now see what I do is I press on this here and it snaps in place, and now the spring applies pressure to all of the bolts. Very simple, and as you see, now I have 7 bolts in the magazine. So easier loading, check. But now we get something even more exciting. Clips. So this is one of these clips, and as you see, you can hang them on the belt, and you can actually get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many. You can put 7 of these bolts in there, and you see there is this spring-loaded lever that actually holds them here by the vanes, and you can now go dancing with this. So it is actually very robust, and therefore I think it's an ideal, very simple and not expensive solution. They're around 30 euros. Of course the idea is that you put them on, then you pull this back until the lever opens, and then you can load all the bolts in one rush into the magazine. So as you see, the magazine has these little notches here where you can put in the magazine, and there's actually also a little guiding notch that allows it to be moved backwards, so there's actually nothing that you can do wrong with this. In business. Now loading the long 15-inch bolts. That is now far more simple, because I can simply swing up the lever, then I can bring the whole thing to the front, cock the weapon just as normal, then I can muzzle load the arrow. It actually slides in place pretty much, okay, and then all I have to do is close the magazine and I'm in business. One additional advantage is that you can now mount a scope. Previously that wasn't really possible, because it was almost impossible to squeeze in the bolts then. And here it is of course now much easier, because you simply swing this up. So this is actually the limit how far you could go with the scope. So even a bigger one would be no problem. Since now the slot is completely accessible, so can simply load it from the front like so. You see, I have a lot of space to put it in. Not a problem at all. So the question is, where do I get it? Well, if you are in North America, you can get it at the gogun.co website. Link is down there. And if you're in Europe, you can get it directly from Gogun Germany. Also link down there. The magazine itself costs in Europe 149 euros. Dollar price will be a little different, but close to that. But that is only if you order it until the 30th of October 2020. Afterwards, it will be 249 euros RRP. And the thing is that if you buy the adder complete with the magazine, with the new magazine, then you only pay about 120 euros for the magazine. So the set is like 499 euros, and then it's complete with the old and the new magazine. So that's a smoking deal, because let's not forget that you also get the laser light holder here. That is 79 euros standalone. Therefore, you save a lot of money. Now, there are companies that bring in the adder from other countries, like let's say from the UK or from Italy or so, which is not illegal, but it's actually not very good for me, since my only payment for the development of the magazine and all the promotion on YouTube and Facebook is exclusive distribution rights. So I usually get an exclusive distribution right, and but of course people do it all the time by buying somewhere in other countries where I don't have that exclusive right, and then of course I make nothing. I won't even make a single cent if people sell it. But it's usually not a good deal, because you don't get the affordable magazine and you don't get the laser light holder. So now I have a few other sweet things that I'd like to show you that have nothing to do with the new magazine. They work on the old magazine as well, but they're so cool that I wanted to show them to you anyway. First, as you see, I have a little folding bayonet. Simply used a part of the Picatinny holder from an old red dot, plastic red dot for the R9 that I was no longer using, and I mounted it to this inexpensive cold steel knife. So it's rock solid actually, and now I have a folding bayonet on my crossbow. Kind of cool. The next thing that I found that I really like is this additional front handle. It comes with a Picatinny mount, so you can immediately install it, not a problem. And it also has a little additional Picatinny rail here at the side, so you can mount other stuff too. But it has this button here that works like a switchblade button. Isn't that cool? I really like it. And it turns the front handle into a bipod, which I think is extremely useful. It's just about $10 or so. I put the Amazon link down there in the text description for you. So I hope you like this, because that's it for today. Thanks, and bye. Bye.